Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monday, August 10th edition of the Nelson Analysis here at PWRshow.com and on our YouTube channel. Let's talk about wrestling as it stands today, this week, last week, going into this week. Last week we had some great wrestling, at least television wrestling presented. When you look at TNA Impact, which I think was a standout show, last week, just based off of the way they put it together and the riot, the lead-in into it, the Hernandez push, the Eric Young push, the Matt Morgan push. So many of the young stars now, sort of all of a sudden being pushed in TNA, and I thought it came across very, very well on Impact. Let's not forget Brutus Magnus of the British Invasion in the main event with Sting on that match as well. Very well done by TNA Impact. Lots of good reviews from people all over the IWC about last week's Impact. Also, last week's Superstars from WWE had a very good show as well. I mean, that Ricky Ortiz match with the Great Khali was just fantastic, all 30 seconds of it, and leading to his release. I'm being sarcastic. Ricky Ortiz released, you heard about that here on the Pro Wrestling Report, but the Jeff Hardy CM Punk situation is still very, very intriguing. Almost as intriguing, and probably more intriguing than the Rey Mysterio Dolph Ziggler situation. There are some good stories developing on SmackDown right now. SmackDown becoming the WWE show to watch each and every week. Speaking of WWE television, last week on Raw, we talked about the whole guest host situation, and Jeremy Piven was the guest host last week. Not as good as some of the other guest hosts. Here's the thing. You're going to have hits and misses as it pertains to the guest host program on WWE Raw. We know WWE is going to be continuing. We've talked about some of the names of people who they are considering for it. So it's not everybody's going to be great. Sergeant Slaughter is this week, tonight on Raw, and we don't know who it's going to be next week. Presumably we'll get an announcement tonight as to who that's going to be. So you got to take the good with the bad, and I think Sergeant Slaughter potentially could more than make up for any problems that anybody had with Jeremy Piven. Now, I don't think you got to ever fix the ZZ Top week on Raw, but that's in the past. It happens. It's 1 week out of 52 that they provide television, wrestling television each and every week. ECW last week, good show as well. Had that Extreme Rules match. Again, just great product last week from both organizations on television. And some have said, though, back to the TNA Impact from last week, some have said, and I would tend to agree, that may have been the show they should have used leading into Hard Justice. However, I don't read spoilers, or I haven't read spoilers yet for this week's Impact, so don't know exactly what's in store for us this week. But they potentially could still have a decent show leading into Hard Justice. So let's give it a chance this Thursday night on Spike TV. Hard Justice is this weekend, as you heard me allude to a minute ago, so TNA's got some building to do. We've heard from WWE, and we'll talk more about it on this week's ESPN radio show. We heard from WWE about their business, pay-per-view numbers specifically. They're down, substantially down across the board for both wrestling organizations. You can imagine if WWE's numbers are down significantly, TNA's numbers are probably down significantly as well. So they got a lot of work to do to get people to buy Hard Justice on pay-per-view, and that is this Sunday. We'll have a full preview on this week's ESPN radio show, in which Kevin Nash will be our our guest as well. So, wrestling last week, I thought all shows did a very good job of delivering what they needed to do. We'll see what this week brings, and we always want to encourage your comments here on the Pro Wrestling Report, so you can email those to comments@pwrshow.com, or you can put your comments right here on our YouTube channel. Until next week, this has been the Nelson Analysis for Monday, August 10, 2009. We'll see you again soon.